This is a PSA, a public service announcement to the world regarding the coronavirus and our actions. I just want to say, I beg you all to be civilized human beings and think about what we're doing. I understand I'm all about the freedoms. I get the freedoms and wanting to do what you want to do and live life while you're living and not to be afraid and have something contain or confine you. But it is important for us to use our heads and not our hearts right now and do the right thing for all of us as a society, as a race. And I don't mean a race of black, white, brown, yellow, green, blue people. I mean a race as in the human race. We need to be able to come together in unison in how we treat this virus and how we treat this situation. It's important for us to understand that, your freedom might infringe on someone else's freedom. This is no different than a few years ago when it was determined that, it wasn't right for people to smoke in public areas. It wasn't right for people to smoke in buildings and inside of restaurants and bars and subject others to that smoke, because we know that people inhale that smoke, and secondhand smoke can be very deadly to them. And you've infringed on their right to breathe clean air. And we all came to agreement. I'm a smoker. We all came into an agreement that this was wrong. We passed laws and people obeyed them. And it's been for the betterment of all, even for those who smoke. Now, fast forward to today. There have been many people who have said they're going to do what they're going to do. We see people out at beaches. I just saw a video of people in Australia doing interviews saying, oh, well, this is wrong. But they're in their beach clothes, sitting out, hanging out. Putting something on the Barbie, hanging out. But what they aren't doing is being responsible. Because it may not infect you, but you could carry it and infect somebody else. And what if it's somebody you love? I love my mom. I haven't seen her in a little while. I need to Skype her so that I can see her face. We've talked on the phone and we've texted each other, but I haven't seen her. And seeing her brings joy to me. But what I know that I can't do is ask for her to come by my house or for me to go by hers. Because through no action of my, or at least willing action of my own, could give her this, and she could die from this, given her age. And that is not fair to her. I love her. Why would I want to do that to her? And while I may not know you, and I may not love you, I do respect you and your right to live. And in saying that, I must then show the discipline necessary to help us get a leg up on this and figure out and come up with a vaccine and get beyond this so that we can live our lives again. But what I won't do is I won't go out and subject you to the things that I don't even know I may have, just because I think I need to have my freedoms and I need to go out and do this and do that. And, so obey the law. Do what's right, not just for you, but for all of us, because we're all in this together. And you may not know it, but it could come back to you and be somebody you love. Think about how you would feel if somebody you loved passed away or was stricken with this virus to the point where it really depleted their value of life. Think about that when you talk about going out in public in groups and not obeying the 6 feet rule. Don't stand so close to me. You stand 6 feet away, we can have a conversation, hang out. Don't cough on me, don't do any of that stuff, excuse me. But let's be real. Let's be the civilized, thoughtful fabric of society that we built ourselves to be and tout ourselves to be. This is one of those instances that we need to show that we're truly civilized and that we aren't animals and that we don't do things based on instinct, but we actually use our brains and come up with the most reasonable, logical solution for the betterment of all of us, not for one of us. Think about that the next time you look to leave your house to call a party together. Think of the people in New Jersey, good folk who wanted to just get together. There were 11 siblings. They got together and not knowingly doing this, they spread the virus to each other. And now some of them have passed away, and many of them are infected now, and their children are infected. Again, they didn't want to do this, but because we decided to do some of the things that really are against the law today and against all reasoning when we talk about confinement, containment, and this is where they are. My heart goes out to them, and I hope that we can find a cure so that we can cure them and their kids so there's no more suffering. But one thing we can do to make sure that others don't suffer is to take it upon ourselves to show that we are civilized, to use our heads instead of our hearts, and to do the right thing for you, for me, for everybody.